Let's drive into the evolution of technology and how it's reshaping the IT industry. We'll explore paradigm shifts, the growing importance of a security-first mindset, and what the future holds for both IT professionals and businesses in this rapidly changing tech landscape. Stick around as we challenge conventional thinking and discuss how these changes impact everyone from small businesses to the everyday user. This is Data Drive. Starring Jeff Weston and Robbie Ferguson.
The times they are changing.
Yeah.
It's a good change though.
Yeah. We have to have change and challenges for ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
And it goes for in the industry too. I mean, if it wasn't for the constant evolution of technology, IT would be a very dull job because you could get into ruts really easy. And people do.
Yep.
Because people don't necessarily, so there's two different types of work within the IT field, I think. And you got to be careful. Which one do you want to be? You want to be somebody who innovates and keeps on top of things that are current? That's the exciting way to go. Or somebody who knows what they know and doesn't want to change. Because it's going to change anyways. The paradigm is going to shift 3-4 times in your career.
Oh,
so,
I bet it'll shift even more. I mean,
sure, but I mean the full paradigm.
Yeah.
Like shifting from DOS to Windows.
Yep.
That's a shift in the paradigm.
Yep.
Complete shift. Have we shifted completely away from that yet? No. The paradigm hasn't changed. The functionality has evolved, but we haven't seen a paradigm shift yet. We're starting to see it with VR.
That cloud computing and hybrid formats
on a server side
has definitely changed the paradigm.
Servers hosting, infrastructure, that paradigm has shifted.
Collaboration for sure.
When you really understand the architecture, has it?
Yeah. In that regard, no.
Is it just that you're hosting it with someone else now?
But see, I think where technology has gotten to, from the perspective of complete utter shifts, I don't think you're gonna see the big shift like you would from a paper to processor, DOS to Windows type thing.
Yeah.
Because it's now, here's a new technology, integrate that. Here's a new thing, integrate. Like AI.
Okay, yeah.
Is now a supplemental thing.
Yeah, suddenly Copilot is just part of Teams.
Right, exactly.
You didn't have to ask for it. You didn't have to push a button or install something. It's just there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I don't think the paradigm in that, like that massive shift, like, oh my goodness, I have to relearn everything, is going to happen again. Unless you're switching careers.
Right.
That's where you'll have that. But the tech has not changed. Your job, you have changed in that job. I think now it's just going to be more gradual enhancements that you look back on it and, an undisclosed period of time and go,
right,
ooh, it's changed drastically.
If you change along with it and if you follow the trends and follow what is needed. There are still people who run on-prem Exchange servers.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, you had better move soon, otherwise you're going to get left behind.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's just one example.
I think where you may see the biggest shift is more in a theoretical is not the right word, but the mindset. Like I can see our society right now on a global scale starting to look at how quickly tech has advanced. Yes. And now we're having a lot more in-depth conversation about privacy and security that we didn't really have 5-10 years ago as everything was progressing. Now we're looking at it going, oh, we got to hear, how do we now protect ourselves on the go forward? And I think the mindset will be our biggest shift. That's my gut feeling.
Are you, though, alluding to the mindset shift of the end user versus the IT professional?
No, the IT professional.
The IT professional?
Yeah, because the end user, from what I'm...
So becoming more hyper-aware of the threats that exist.
Right, as opposed
starting
to just
follow a
straight up...
security-first model.
Yeah, as opposed to just developing new and cool. There's now more conversation about ethical advancement within tech.
Sure.
And so I think the intellectual paradigm shift is more likely to be felt than the technological paradigm.
So it's more of a mindset of how we approach technology,
Yes.
which makes sense. I mean, you saw this in web development 10 years ago when mobile responsive began taking over. We started to see this shift in the paradigm for web development, where we used to develop for computers. Then and now it's called mobile first.
Yep.
We're developing for mobile because, let's face it, minimum 60 to 80% of your website visitors are going to be on mobile.
Correct.
So that's how we design, and then we make it, flex out and restructure itself for tablets and computer screens.
Yes.
So if we start to take a more of a security first approach to our data centers, suddenly it shifts the way we think about the technologies that we implement and how we implement them.
Absolutely.
We were talking about NEMs and how, I have mine behind and the various services that I have are only accessible by a VPN.
Yeah.
My backup, perfect example. I've got servers all over the world. Well, none of them can talk to any other one unless they're on the VPN.
Right.
So, those things are really important, and it shifts the way you design things, and that protects you, because if you've got a security first mindset and your data is in a database, it's not going to be web accessible. Like you hear about MySQL databases and MS SQL databases getting compromised and data being stolen and taken from companies. Well, why are our database servers still web facing?
Right.
Makes no sense in a security first mindset. So those things are all hidden behind internal infrastructure and only accessible through that infrastructure.
Yes. But the largest barrier, well, maybe not the largest, that's, I think, an overreach, but a significant barrier to a lot of data security is SMB. If you're a small business or even a medium-sized business, they don't have a SOC. That's right. And you may not have the budgetary means to have a security first mindset.
Yeah.
You're just trying to survive as a little fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
And it opens up the door to...
That's a catch-22.
Absolutely it is. It opens the door to liability arguments, and even with case law now, you're starting to see some of the tech case law that's coming out is that, businesses can no longer hide behind their terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Because the courts are starting to recognize that the uber legalese writing that they understand that everybody just clicks accept is not intelligible to the average user.
So what's the answer to a small, medium business? Because if I came, the immediate thing that anyone outside of the industry might say is, well, hire a third-party person to come in and take care of it for you.
Right.
And
which is great until the person's like $300 an hour.
Minimum.
Yeah.
I'm thinking okay, sure, hire me to come in. I'll come in and do it for $150,000.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, that's if you've got a small business where your profit margin is
Well, like you're not going to spend it.
Right.
So what do? You hire some young person, and nothing against young people, but someone fresh out of school that has no real world experience, has not yet developed the security first mindset because they've not yet encountered a DDoS attack, and they have not yet encountered someone whacking away at their databases or their login credentials and things like that. They've just not been there, done that.
At Data Drive, we only trust our dashcam footage to Kingston Canvas Go Plus microSD cards. They're fast and reliable, even in the harsh seasons faced by us Canadian drivers.
Do you have a device that could use a Kingston upgrade? Your dashcam, action cam, smart home surveillance device, drone, Raspberry Pi, smartphone, or even your Nintendo Switch gaming console?
Upgrade today with Kingston Canvas Go Plus microSD cards.
Data Drive is brought to you by Ameridroid.com. From Singapore computers to home automation and accessories, Ameridroid.com offers top-notch products, worldwide shipping, and unbeatable US-based service. Explore endless possibilities with Ameridroid.com.
And Voyager Systems, your responsive IT partner for managed technology, cybersecurity, and future-proof solutions. Let them deal with the technical headaches so you can focus on what matters, running your business. Blast off to success with Voyager Systems, where every journey elevates your business to new heights. VoyagerSystems.cloud.
Welcome back, dear friends. It's Data Drive once more. With your tech guides, Robbie and Jeff, together we'll explore all the data innovations and the future's infinite doors. It's Data Drive, where the tech talk shines and the gadgets come alive. Robbie and Jeff will steer this right. It's Data Drive, oh Data Drive.
My wife and I were looking at buying a business in town 6 years ago or so. And
Good to see Dusty's got his truck back on the road.
yeah, oh man, we see that guy all the time. It's funny.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, gosh, we pass him. It's got to be at least twice a week. Yeah, the business we were looking at buying, great business model, very successful, long-standing business within the community. But the profit margin on the business in the capacity in which it was operating was about 15% of revenue. And
Whoa, what is he out selling retail?
it was a quasi-retail. It was a specialized establishment, not really retail.
Now, please tell me he's selling units that are $500,000 each.
No.
Then it's not worth your time.
Well, that's it. Like, we were looking at it going, this could be a good business. And then we started looking at the financials, which he was very willing to show us. And we went, yeah, you know what? If we bought this with the profit margin of 15 and on a good year, 20%, what we would pay on interest, and what it didn't become lucrative until we paid off the purchasing fee, which would take us 20 years anyway.
Can I ask what the product was?
It was a wine shop.
Wine shop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
but only 15 points?
Only 15 points.
See, here's how I look at things. And maybe wine is a little different. Although wine is a consumable,
Yes.
and you have to have some form of you have to have a certain amount of ability to have waste. You're going to have somebody who doesn't like the taste of their wine,
Sure.
and they're going to want their money back.
Yep.
So that's that. As far as retail goes, though, and product sales, 15 points is not acceptable at all. And what we have to take into account is that consumers demand service.
Yes.
And if we're not providing value-added services, then we're no good, and we shouldn't be doing it anyways.
Right.
And in a wine shop, you have to account for the fact that 15% margin, excuse me, because you're having to lug those heavy carboys. You're having to keep an eye on things, keep the fermentation process at the right sugar levels. You're having to maintain all those things. That's a lot of work.
It is. Absolutely.
And you have to factor time into your cost, what you're charging.
Yep.
With retail, though, you have to factor in that if I sell a product, I guarantee you that 1 in every 4 customers is going to need me to help them with that product.
Of course.
They're going to want, okay, I bought this thing, I need you to show me how to set it up, or I need you to even just send me the right page in the documentation, and we've been through this.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it works. People demand, expect, not in a rude way necessarily, some do, but generally speaking,
The service that comes with the product.
if you go to a restaurant and you order a hamburger with extra tomato, you expect there to be at least 2 tomatoes on the hamburger.
Right.
And if there isn't, you're going to say, hey, I want my extra tomato.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the way that's how life is. Right?
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
got to get, on a sale, I'm going to say 30 points is the bare minimum, and 40 is at least a comfortable place.
Right.
And that sounds like a lot, but
It does. But in the case of this individual, they were looking to retire. They were winding down. They
yeah.
were doing bare minimums. And so they're like,
you'd have to raise the prices immediately.
Well-
Which is going to kill business.
yeah. And they were like, look, we just stick with the clients we've got. We don't drum up business.
Right.
And so like back 10, 15 years ago when we were doing weddings, it was more of a 50% profit margin.
Wow.
And
that's
so,
smart. Yeah.
yeah, so it was one of those things where they're like, you could get back to that. It's a little bit of extra work, but the profit margins become exponentially higher.
Yeah.
And so but we were looking at it going, yeah, you know what, the work to do that is a lot. But all of this conversation to say, in a case like that where it was 15 points, 20 points on the high end, and we're
But I'm
talking,
also thinking, if I may, a kit of wine is $80.
yes,
So if you're getting 15 points on that, lock the door and don't even come in, because you'd make more money just busking.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But this individual was well past retirement age.
Okay.
Standard.
Fair enough. I understand that. You wind down and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I want out and don't want to overdo it. I've made my money.
Yeah, exactly. So, but in a case like this, you've got all the purchasing data, you've got client information, sales data, all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I can guarantee you, because I saw the setup, they were not security conscious.
Oh.
Their entire infrastructure was a laptop sitting on the counter.
No. That I could
And-
just walk away with, and it's got Excel on it with the entire customer database.
Yes.
Nice.
And at one point I'm like, oh, do you have this product? Oh, I think it's in the back. And they walked away.
Oh,
And
nice.
I kind of just leaned over and looked at the laptop screen
Yeah.
and went, fully unlocked. There's the database.
Took some pictures with your phone, and now that's why you're running your own wine store with a 60% margin.
I just plugged in a USB and downloaded. But I was like, oh, like they're not security conscious at all. And in the case of that individual, one failed hard drive,
Right.
one
There goes the
ransomware
business.
attack, one stolen laptop, and it's all gone.
Yep.
And like that would be, the sinking of the Titanic for that business.
Yep.
Like you wouldn't recover from that. And so as a company, you're not making a lot. You wouldn't be able to pay for the expertise for that
Sure.
security aspect.
Yeah. How would someone like that afford to have me come in
They couldn't.
and
Like,
set them
there's
up
just-
with proper cybersecurity and even put them into a proper CRM?
Oh, of course.
Like-
Yeah.
let alone the licensing cost, but the cost to set it up.
Right. And so like I look at stuff like that and I'm like, from the security first mindset, I totally understand why an SMB may not be able to go for it.
Yep. So we end up with a lot of these companies, some successful, some just mom and pop shops that, they make enough business for themselves, but they're not going to get rich anytime soon.
Right.
And if they get compromised, it's our information that's compromised.
That's right.
As consumers, customers.
And so I think there needs to be more, more of a mind shift to building a security-focused business from the ground up.
Are you thinking like we could start a charity that like gives free open source cybersecurity training and software?
Yeah, but who's going to support that?
That's the thing. You'd have to have someone who's rich that wants a write-off.
Yeah.
And many of those people that would, for the betterment of mankind and to help stimulate the economy by ensuring that customer data is safe and that businesses are using good practices.
Yep.
Use a loss leader for something like that, where you'd say, okay, the first 5 users is free,
Yeah.
and you get a CRM and you get anti-malware,
Right.
and some kind of cybersecurity that probably not MDR, but some form of EDR.
Sure. The question becomes, how do you manage that from a user?
And this is where, people think, oh, that's a great idea. You do that for free. No, it costs a boatload of money.
Right.
So, we did the show, Category 5, for free.
Yeah.
No, it cost a lot of money.
Right. It wasn't free for you.
No.
But it was free for the viewers.
For the average viewer. We had
Yeah.
some and still have some supporters that that choose to support what we do. But that's what I mean. Like, it's like, free is not free. Someone has to pay for it.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. And so very roundabout conversation too. I think that's where I think you'll see a paradigm shift within the tech
we need
industry.
one of those such charities.
Because with like ransomware attacks and all that kind of stuff, it is becoming more prevalent and more of a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it in news every week. Another business that has sensitive user data has lost it,
Yep.
And I mean, you almost can't have a business now without cybersecurity insurance.
In a lot of industries, it's required for sure.
Yeah,
And insurance and governments are really instituting that.
that's right. And so I think when the industry can get to the point of a mind shift where they go, okay, let's collectively work on this together, that's where I think you can really see
Yeah.
things
Government
advance.
funding. There you go.
Yeah.
So then, if people want the old style chat Category 5, could we say, okay, well, your business needs cybersecurity knowledge and training, so we'll do a seminar just for your staff. This is what I do on the side, right?
Yeah.
So we do a seminar that teaches you about cybersecurity.
Sure.
And then, but you have to pay because somebody's got to pay.
Absolutely.
So can you get enough of those small, medium businesses that say, yeah, I can do that, and then you get enough of them together that it makes it pay for itself and hopefully profitable, because people have to, I got a family of 5.
I mean, in theory,
See, that's the thing.
Yes.
It's all in theory, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to do that kind of thing. But
but like you would have
the very
to
people
do,
who are asking for it don't want to pay for it.
and that's exactly it. Life is so expensive for people right now. I mean,
Oh
the
my
global
gosh.
economy is struggling under the weight of debt and inflation. And
Yep.
You
And
know,
it's really affecting, like, just north of Toronto where we are.
it's wild. I mean,
And obviously south.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like, even as far as Aurelia. You
Yeah.
really see, and beyond, because people are trying to keep their cost of living down, and so they're moving further north.
Yep.
And that brings up the pricing for
Us.
for everyone who's there.
Yeah. So it is a catch-22 on many fronts, and I mean, you know, you and I on this beautiful sunny drive are not going to be able to solve the problems.
I really want to, though, Jeff.
We hope you found this discussion on the evolving IT landscape and the importance of a security-first mindset insightful. Remember, whether you're a tech enthusiast, a small business owner, or an IT professional, staying ahead of these changes is crucial for success. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Data Drive with your friends. We also appreciate it if you'd comment on this episode on our YouTube channel, which you can find at datadrivepodcast.com. It's time to park for now. See you next time.